Hey buddies, friends, guys, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. It's time for my top 10 seasonal niche list for spring 2023. Now I did the designer list early on, like in March, before it started to heat up in a big way. Now we're fully into spring. The plants are blooming, the birds are singing, and I'm feeling pretty good because it's not as gloomy, gray, and ultimately depressing as it was before. Gotta love winter. You know, you're in the middle of the summer, sometimes it's super hot and you're like, oh man, I can't wait for winter. And then winter gets there and it's just months of gray skies and crushing depression. Gotta love it. So yeah, top 10 spring niche. These are the fragrances I've been wearing and that I want to wear more before we head into summer. Let's check them out. As always, guys, these will be linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. And also, since we're talking niche, let's talk some niche discount codes very quickly. LuckyScent.com, Gents 2023 will get you 10% off your order. That's through the end of June. So at least your spring buying will be covered and part of your summer. TwistedLily.com, MaxAroma.com, both those websites, Gents 10 will get you 10% off your order. And if there's something on So Avant-Garde that you want, you can use the code Ashton20 for 20% off on that website. So a ton of niche fragrances across those four sites. No honorable mentions this time. We're jumping straight into it. Number 10 is from Sospiro and it is Pasticcio. Now this one I filmed a review on for my Extra Gents channel. By the way, check that out. Just YouTube Extra Gents. It is not live yet, and I think this video will come out before that review, but if you want more info on this one, you can watch that when it comes out. It has a ton of floral notes to it. It has amber, it has currant, it has some herbal notes as well. And when you look at the note breakdown for this one, you would think it's gonna be just an overwhelming floral, powdery bomb, probably really feminine smelling as well, but actually it's not. Surprisingly, it's very smooth. It has a nice, almost boozy sweetness underneath everything, and the herbal notes here work together very well with kind of a fresh and warm spicy mix. I think this stuff smells great, which is really nice for me because a lot of Sospiro fragrances before they were kind of reimagined, I did not like. A lot of them I thought were actually very, very poor. So this one, for me to like it as much as I do, going into it being unsure was a big surprise, and it's a fragrance that I'm gonna work in here and there throughout the spring. Number 9 is from Gallagher Fragrances, and it is Mists of Time. On the front of the bottle here, you'll find some of the notes, which include candied orange, mandarin, blackcurrant, patchouli, birch, and mineral notes. The candied orange is very prominent off the top. Very sweet. It's got great performance. The projection is solid here. Some people have found like really vague similarities to Creed's Aventus because of the black currant and the birch, but it is not an Aventus smell alike. It does though have supreme versatility and a big compliment factor. People absolutely love that one. So Mists of Time making the list. And a lot of people would consider that spring and summer, but for me, it's a little more spring, because during summer when it gets really hot outside and can get potentially very humid here as well, because that one does have so much sweetness and can be quite strong off my skin, doesn't smell quite as nice when it's ultra hot. So spring, a little better for me. Number 8 is from Nasamato and it is Absinthe. So this one has wormwood, green notes, and vetiver, at least according to Fragrantica. Nasamato doesn't actually publish note breakdowns. It does have a very green scent profile, which you would expect, and I think it smells fantastic. Has a little bit of a bitterness to it, kind of a smoky waft throughout the woody notes in the fragrance, but it's a really nice change of pace versus some of the other fragrances that I have here in this list that are a little bit on the sweeter side. This one gives me that little bit of an edge, you know, a little bit of a counterpoint, a counterbalance to some of these others. And with it being a Nasamato, very good performance off my skin. The next fragrance in this list, number 7, is a scent that I got in not too long ago, and I love one aspect of this. Not that the scent itself is bad, just one part of the fragrance I really love. It's diurno, and it's from Milano Fragrance. Milano Fragrance. Maybe I should talk like that. Milano Fragrance. So what do I love so much about this fragrance? Well, it has lavender, it has geranium in here, it has musk, and that's all fine. But no, the thing that I really like about this is amaretto. It's got a really nice amaretto note. So it has this interesting booziness to it that I think is just very, very appealing. It's a little bit sweet, but not too sweet, not too heavy, I should say. It keeps this freshness to it that helps make it a fragrance that works very well during the spring. And again, it's a fragrance that is different from all the others in this list, so it gives me something different if I'm just feeling like wearing something a little more out of the ordinary. Number 6 is from Oman Luxury, and it's called Wanderlust, which is definitely something I have. I would like to be traveling as much as humanly possible, but I think most of us would. At least traveling to somewhere cooler than your normal day. Black currant, citrus, olibanum, and gaiac wood, some of the notes in the fragrance, and it packs a punch. It has a little bit of a tartness, a little bitterness from that black currant mixing together with the citrus in the opening. It's extremely green, which a lot of these fragrances in this list do have a green tinge or a green lean toward them. In the middle of spring, man, I really do like fragrances that kind of emulate the weather outdoors. Like when you're going around here in Tennessee and all the mountains are green, you know, I want a scent that reflects that a lot of times. And Wanderlust also has very good performance for me as well. It's a fragrance I fell in love with as soon as I smelled it. I think it's one of the standouts from this house. But you do have to very much enjoy green fragrances. If you don't, you will not like this one. Number 5 from Mancera, Vetiver Sensual. Citrus, vetiver, mint, and woods, some of the notes in the fragrance. And this one is just a very straightforward, clean, easy to wear vetiver fragrance. And I've said this a number of times, I love vetiver. In all of its shapes, forms, facets, smells, types, I love vetiver. This one is a very approachable, easy to wear vetiver. You know, it's scrubbed clean. It's scrubbed clean with citrus, I should say. So you're not gonna really find any of that earthiness, that dirt, that smoke, that dry grassiness that you can sometimes find from vetiver. No, this is more sparkling, bright vetiver. You also have mint in here, giving it more freshness off the top and additional woods, but vetiver does steal the show. As with most Manceras, good performance, very affordable for a niche fragrance, and to top it all off, a magnetic cap. Which, credit where credit is due, this one also, magnetic cap, and Wanderlust. That's right. Those are actually the only ones with magnetic caps in this list. Number 4, Ganymede. Mineral saffron suede and Akigala wood. Ganymede to me is really a year-round fragrance. I think any season you can pull this off. It is maybe more of a daytime lean than nighttime in terms of situations you would use the scent, but I think the versatility here is just whenever you want. Mineral notes, saffron suede, Akigala wood, some of the notes to the fragrance. That minerality is what draws me in. It's what keeps me coming back. It smells like water bubbling up through porous rocks. That may not make sense, but when you smell it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now. Because it has that cleanliness, that freshness, that briskness of water kind of spritzing. But then at the same time, it does have like hints of minerals that have dissolved into said water. A hype beast and a little bit of a divisive one. Some people think it doesn't deserve the hype. Other people think that it is a masterpiece. I lean more toward the masterpiece side of things. I think it smells fantastic. Number 3, into the top 3, You or Someone Like You. I have always loved this scent ever since the first time that I smelled it. It's inexpensive, even at full retail. It is not a pricey niche fragrance, keeping in mind what niche fragrances can sometimes run for anyway. It's another green fragrance. It has citrus, green notes, musk, and mint. And that mixture of mint and citrus in the opening of this is just fantastic. It has a very natural smell to it, like the mint was muddled in your hand, like you picked leaves off of a mint plant and just rubbed it up and maybe spritzed some citrus over top. So yeah, some people that may not work for them, but for me, I do like having fragrances from time to time that take a more naturalistic approach to ingredients that are still very approachable and easy to wear. Because most people, you would say, do you like mint? And they say, oh yeah, I like mint, it smells good. Do you like citrus? Oh yeah, I like citrus, it smells good. Those are not ingredients that are hard to wrap your head around. But oftentimes in fragrances, those ingredients are presented in a way that's maybe not exactly the same way that you would smell in real life. And that's fine, that is totally fine. But sometimes I do want a fragrance that's gonna give it to me in a way that smells a little more lifelike. And that does it for me. Number 2 is Riviera Verbena. Nikolai Parfumeur Creator. Parfums de Nikolai. This has petitgrain, mint, vetiver, lemon, and also verbena as some of the notes in the fragrance, hence the name. And this one would work just as well during the summer because this fragrance is very sweet, very, very fresh. That citrus has almost like a slight candy-like vibe to it, but then you have the green notes here, giving it a little bit of a balance. Absolutely fantastic. The look of the bottle, very unassuming, which all of the fragrances from the house, very unassuming when you just look at the presentation. But the quality here, I think, is extremely good. And as it starts to heat up, something like this just smells amazing in the air. Number 1, another fragrance that works just as well during the summer as the spring, which, to be fair, a lot of the fresher fragrances in my top 10 are ranked more toward the top because right now it's heating up. And so I'm going more for those type of scents instead of the fragrances that you would wear more in early spring when it's still kind of cool outside. So number 1 is from Mind Games, and it is Blockade, another fragrance that I have reviewed on the Extra channel, but it's not live yet, but it will be live soon. I love this scent. This smells awesome. It is pretty pricey, over $300 at retail. On their website, there's a code, Checkmate10, which will get you 10% off, so you can save a little bit anyway, but it's still pricey. And this fragrance has made it to where I want to smell all the mind games. I need them in my life. So what's the deal with this one? Well, it has been compared to Creed's Aventus. Although I think you spray them side by side, you will find quite a difference between the two. But absolutely, you could say this is in the same family as Creed Aventus, and I wouldn't argue that. It's just definitely not a one-to-one with Aventus. So this has mango, it has tomato leaf, it has watery florals, it's got pink pepper, it's got amber as it dries down. The opening is just killer. The mango here I think smells fantastic. It's sweet, it has a little bit of a tart edge to it. It's technically a green mango note off the top. Nice tropicality to it as well, a tropical kind of flair. The tomato leaf and the florals add this like very faint watery flow that goes from the opening into the dry down there. A little fresh spice helps give counterbalance. And then as it dries down, it takes on a little more warmth, a nice modern masculine dry down with kind of a fresh woodiness as well. The performance is very good. The compliment factor is huge. It's just a fantastic scent. I love it. The only thing that you could possibly try to bust on this one for, I guess, is being in the same family as Aventus, but let's get real. At this point, there are so many different scents that are like that. To have something that stands out against that backdrop makes it even better. So Blockade, number 1. There we go, guys. My top 10 spring. Sorry that I got it to you a bit late as we're heading into May. Let me know in the comments, what have you been wearing this spring? Designer, niche, indie, whatever. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.